Jason, you say I have 3 balloons here. One is filled with helium, one is filled with hydrogen, and the other is filled with a combination of air and carbon dioxide, because I blew it up.
Oh, okay.
Can you tell me which is which?
Okay, well, helium and hydrogen are both like lighter than air, so they'd float. And that one's not floating, so I guess that would be the air.
That must be the air.
And those are both floating, and
You can't
I can't
which
tell
is
the
which.
difference,
Okay.
no.
Now, what do you know about helium and hydrogen?
Well, they float.
Okay, that they're lighter than air. But I wondered if you knew about the dirigible. Do you remember the Hindenburg?
Oh yeah, it a spark ignited it and it exploded.
Something ignited, and nobody knows for sure. And what was it filled with?
Hydrogen, I think?
Hydrogen, yes, and it burned, and it's a famous newsreel picture, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so helium, they now fill balloon. When you get a balloon at the circus or a fair or something, and it floats at the end of a string, what is it?
It's helium.
Right, because it's not flammable.
Okay.
So one way of determining which was which over there would be to take a burning sparkler at the end of a long stick and bring it near to each balloon, right?
Yeah.
That's why I gave you safety glasses.
Okay.
But I'd suggest that you break this balloon first so that you get the idea of what happens when a plain balloon filled with non-flammable gas breaks.
Okay.
Then go from there to the next one, and finally the last one. And you tell me which is helium, which is hydrogen.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 1. Whoa.
That was air, okay?
Okay.
And here comes this. What do you think it's going to be?
I'd guess, I don't know,
Well,
maybe
try it.
hydrogen. No, I guess it was,
That was helium. The last one now must be?
Whoa, hydrogen.
All right, give it a try. That
Wow.
is hydrogen. This may look like a ripe banana, but it's only 5 millimeters long. That's about 1/4 of an inch. People call it a seed, but it's really the fruit of a plant related to the carrot. You enjoy their flavor when you eat cheese, rolls, or bread, sprinkled not with caraway seeds, but caraway fruits. Lala, you've rubbed a balloon on your sleeve or sweater or something and stuck it to something, all right?
Yeah.
And it sticks?
Yeah.
Why does it stick?
Because of static electricity.
Yeah, well, that's...
It's just my nose.
And probably because of the static electricity, too.
Oh.
Now, we ought to really find out a little more about what that means, because kids say static electricity without really understanding it. What you're doing when you rub a balloon on your sweater, especially if it's wool, or a piece of fur, which is even better, you're rubbing electrons off of the fur or the wool onto the balloon.
Oh.
And electrons means electricity.
Yeah.
Now, why is it called static? And why is it attracted to your face?
Because I'm beautiful. No, just kidding.
An attractive face? Yeah. Well, your face is attractive. Both ways. Both by the way it looks and by the fact that it attracts the balloon.
Okay.
But what does the word static mean first?
I don't know.
Well, static, you hear on the radio, it's a crackling sound.
Yeah.
But that's not the static we're talking about.
Oh.
Static means stationary. It doesn't flow.
So it's electricity that doesn't go anywhere.
Right, because this is a non-conductor, isn't it? Rubber?
Yeah.
We use rubber for insulators and all that sort of thing, covers of wires, so electricity won't flow on it. So you've rubbed extra electrons on the balloon, and they stay in that one piece, and that's why it's called static electricity. Now, why did it stick to your attractive face? We have extra electrons on here. When you bring an electrically charged object near something that's not electrically charged,
Maybe I have electrons on my face.
you have electrons on your face, and you have positive charges as well. When you bring the negatively charged balloon near it, the negative charges in your face are repelled. And so that means that there's slightly positive charge on your face. So that's why they stick.
Oh. Okay.
What'll happen if we rub 2 balloons?
They'll
what?
be repelled.
They should be repelled. Okay, rub that one.
Makes a lot of noise.
Okay, now try that one. That's enough, that's enough, that's enough. Okay, now they're repelled for the same reason, right? Because the 2 electrons, what'll happen if you bring the fur slowly near them?
They'll be attracted to the fur.
Should be.
Okay.
Because it has less electrons, and they have an excess. Even try it with your hand once.
Okay.
Now, try letting them settle down like that. Now slowly bring your hand between them, this way.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They actually be attracted to your hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, just remember, anytime we do some static electricity tricks, is because of extra electrons on something and positive and negative charges someplace else, but pushing the positive charges away so that the negative charges can repel. Now, try this, rub it hard, and come on over here to the sink. You see I have the faucet dripping? I adjusted this so that there's a nice stream of water coming down here. Bring the comb over near the stream of water and watch what happens.
It's attracted.
Yes.
I didn't think water had electrons and stuff.
Well, they have negative and positive charges. Most things have a combination, but most people don't realize you can sort of push the negative charges away so that the positive charges would be attracted by a hard rubber comb rubbed on a piece of fur. Okay, let me turn off the water and go back over here, and now let's have some fun with a different kind. Let me put the balloons down over here and bring up this.
What are those?
Well, these are styrofoam balls. You know the plastic cups that you put hot stuff in? There's all little plastic balls all pushed together. Well, these are the plastic balls before you push them together.
Oh.
Rub the comb on the fur, getting extra electrons where?
On the comb.
Okay, and bring them near the plastic balls. See what happens?
Wow.
So now you can see sort of where the static charges are. In fact, let's try that with a balloon. Here, take this balloon.
Whoops.
Take this balloon and don't rub it all over. Just rub it on one side. Okay, now bring it over near the styrofoam balls. Wow.
Wow.
Now turn it over too so you get on the back side.
Well, I never rubbed the backside.
Okay, now you can see exactly where the static charge is, can't you?
Yeah.
So there's sort of like
none
little,
here.
Yeah,
There's
it's sort of
none
like
here.
a little indicator of where the static charges are.
It's hard to get it off.
Yeah, because it's thick.
It's a lot of noise again. Yeah.
Now there's one more trick I'd like you to do. Come on over here. It takes a certain amount of athletic ability, which I think you probably have.
Yeah.
Here's a wand, and here is a strip of plastic material. You put it here on the counter like that, and you rub it over here like this 10 times. What do you suppose you're doing?
Charging it?
Yes. When you say charging, what do you mean?
Putting extra electrons into it.
Okay. So I want you to rub it 10 times like this, then turn it over, rub it 10 times more on the other side, like that, then run this up and down 10 times. And what do you think you're doing with this?
Putting extra electrons on
So
this.
this is going to have extra electrons, that's going to have electrons. Then if you pick this up like this, what should happen?
It should float because it's going to be repelled.
Repelled. Okay, good luck.
Okay.
10 times on each side.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. That's one side. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, now hook the end in the end of that loop like that.
Okay.
And flip it up in the air and see if you can magically make it suspend. Ha-ha! Because of the magic of static electricity.
Well, I see about 3 or 4 lines.
Yes, and in fact, what I'm doing is just waving a stick in front of a television set. What you do is you turn it to where there's no station, so that you're just getting a blank screen like that. And now take the stick and wave it in front of it, and you can get 1, 2, 3, or 4, up to 6, depending on how fast you wave it. I see about 4 from here.
Yeah, even 5.
Now this is based on an effect called a stroboscopic effect. Do you know what that means? Strobe.
Well, I've heard strobe from dances, and they have a strobe light, and they put it up and it flashes, and it makes the people look like they're moving
jerking around. Well, the reason for that is because the image from the person, or in this case the stick, comes to your eye only when the light is on. Then when they turn the light off, the people move into a new position, then the light comes back on and you see it. And it so happens that the television set is giving you 60 new pictures every second.
Oh.
So when you run the stick up and down in front of it, you're seeing a stick again and again and again based on the 60 cycles. Now, you can try some other things around the house. I'd be careful with this so you don't mix up your fingers in the thing. But you can try this and a fan and various other things and use the television set as a very neat stroboscopic device.
Oh, wow.
Digging a tunnel like this is a big job. As you know, explosives are sometimes used to blast through the rock. But nearby are houses, offices, and shops with people going about their daily lives. What's the best way to blast through rock with the least possible disturbance? In this test explosion, for instance, the many pieces of rock and flying debris show that the explosive charge is not being used efficiently. Engineers at the University of Maryland worked out a technique for directing the force of an explosion using a plastic sheet as a model. Ordinarily, the sheet split apart along several lines like this. With a special collar around the explosive, the photographic record shows the sheet broke in two as they had planned, along the diagonal line. Next, a test with an actual slab of rock. The notches on the side of the hole for the explosive are supposed to direct the force of the blast. A high-speed camera recorded the explosion. Again, the sample split as they had planned. Finally, they were ready for a real challenge. Split rock 28 along the yellow line. Holes were drilled in the rock. The special shield around the explosive will direct the force of the blast in the proper direction. The explosive was rammed into the hole and covered with dirt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. During the explosion, there was a little smoke and a few small pieces of rock in the air. The 4 by 8 foot block of granite was blown into 2 pieces with a smooth, clean break. Engineers will be able to blast through rock with less disturbance to the public because of research into the efficient use of high explosives. That bone is probably 600 years old, Christian. Wow. It's the sort of thing that an archaeologist finds in an ancient grave. But the bone itself hasn't changed that much over the years. So here's a sort of more modern skeleton. See if you can find that same bone on the skeleton.
Okay, let's see. Wouldn't go there because it doesn't look that much the same. How about right here? Like that.
So what part of the skeleton is that?
The top of the leg.
Right, the top of the leg. This is the ball that goes into the socket at the hip joint. Okay, now look at the other end.
Hey, it's hollow.
Are you surprised?
Yes, I always thought it would be solid.
Well, as a matter of fact, it's a good thing it is hollow. In fact, see that sponge sitting over there? Mm-hmm. It's not really hollow like this because this one has sort of worn away. After all, it's 600 years old. When the person was alive, the inside of the bone was filled with a spongy material sort of like this. And it's a good thing, too, because inside those little holes in the sponges, your body makes various parts of your blood and supplies various minerals for your whole body. So it's important that that takes place inside there. But in addition to that, the sponge is fairly strong, isn't it? Yeah. But the fact that the bone is hollow, even in this form, means it's stronger than if it were solid. And that's the thing that surprised you? Mm-hmm. Well, let's do a scientific experiment now to see the difference between something that's solid and something that's hollow. Back there on the shelf, I have a scale.
Okay.
You want to bring it up and put it up here on the table? Here, I'll take those rods, too.
Okay.
Okay. Turn it around here so that you can see it, because here are 2 rods, and we'll weigh them. Here's a solid rod. What does it weigh?
Well...
That one is a 1 pound. Am I seeing? Well, it's down it's a little below 1, right? Just remember where it is. We don't care exactly what it weighs. Because here's another rod, but this time it's hollow.
Exactly the same.
About the same, okay. Now we'll do some experiments by stressing it. So take the scale and put it back there. And there's 2 barbell weights back there. You want to bring them up?
Okay, I see them.
Okay, see, the barbell weight has a hole in the center. So I want you to thread it onto this rod.
Okay.
Now we'll stretch it between the table and the shelf over here. Bring it down to the center, and then slowly let go. Okay?
Yeah, I think it'll stay.
All right. Now that's the solid one. Now let's do the same thing with the one that's hollow.
Okay.
Now you thought that the solid one would be stronger. And remember, both of these have the same amount of material in them now. Okay, look at the difference.
I thought this one would be stronger than this one.
Well, pound for pound now, or gram for gram, whatever is hollow has more strength. And it makes some sort of sense, because if you're going to stress it like this and bend it, the bigger around it is, why the harder it is to bend and stretch and so forth. And scientists and engineers have used this principle. Chair legs are made of hollow, aren't they? Because they're stronger, and pipe racks and all that sort of thing. So they've been using that principle for, well, 300-400 years, or maybe about the time of that bone there, 600 years. But nature has been using it for millions and millions of years, because pound for pound, the hollow thing is stronger than the solid one. How many oceans are there? Well, long ago, sailors ventured out onto the 7 seas. Today, we talk of the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Indian Oceans. We call seas by such name as North, Baltic, Mediterranean, Caribbean, Bering, Tasman, Coral, Black, and so on. Then there are other bodies of water, such as the Gulf of Mexico and the Bay of Bengal. Combined, all these bodies of water cover 71% of the Earth's surface. In spite of all the different names, they're all connected, so there's only really one big ocean, and it has no name at all. AJ, I have a real challenge for you. I would like you to sip some of this grape juice through the straw.
It's a challenge?
Well, go ahead, start. No problem,
No.
all right?
Oh, no problem.
Okay, now I would like you to use 2 straws, but one is in the grape juice, the other one next to it, like that.
Okay.
Here. Try it
That's
again, but do it slowly.
Okay. Can't get any.
Yeah, now do it quickly. When you do it quickly, you can get it, right?
Yeah.
But when you do it slowly, you can't. Now, why? What difference does that make? How come you can't suck it up when you do it slowly?
I don't know.
Well, when you drink something through a straw, what do? You go like that?
Yeah.
Okay. What you're doing is you're taking some of the air out of your mouth, putting it into your lungs, okay?
Okay.
And outside air pressure pushes down here and pushes the liquid up into your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Now what happens when you use the other straw outside the glass?
The air is coming in and I lose the...
It's destroying some of this low pressure area,
Yeah.
yes. That was a bit more of a challenge, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, wait till I'm through with you. You'll be sorry you said what you said, because here's another one.
Oh.
Try that one. What do you think's going to happen here?
Same thing as before.
Yeah, what should happen?
It should come up and then the air will be... I'll be sipping through. air.
Right, here, try it once. Just barely, you can get some. Now, I don't assume that you've probably ever done this, but think you'll be able to take the air up through 2 straws taped together.
Okay, I'll try.
No problem?
Nope.
How about 3?
Okay.
You see what's coming? It's going to get longer and longer. Okay, try 3. Okay, 3. How tall are you?
5'3".
And in centimeters?
167.
167. And this is a tube that's taller than you are. It's probably, what, 2 meters, 200?
Yeah.
Something like that. Think you can suck the grape juice all the way up to the top of that straw?
Okay.
Here, move the stool back, because you're going to have to get on top of the stool. Put it up there. I'll put the grape juice down here on the floor. Okay, here's the grape juice on the floor. Go ahead and get on the stool. Okay. Now you know how to suck up for a while and then put your tongue on the end so you can do a series of them. Let's see if you can get up 2 meters. There's 1 meter, 1.5 meters, 2 meters. Aha, you did it. Okay, but that's only the beginning of the challenge. Come on down. Because you know that apartment building down the street run by Mrs. Wilmer, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay, what I'm going to have you do is go up to the 3rd floor. Mm-hmm. And I have a whole bunch of straws. We're going to tape them all together, and we're going to see really how high you can go. Now, you've gone 2 meters so far. How far do you think you can get?
Maybe 1.5 stories.
Well, do it in meters. 4 meters, 5 meters?
About 5 meters, yeah.
Okay, then when we've exhausted you and you can't suck anymore, we've now got a vacuum pump.
Okay.
So we'll connect that up.
Okay.
Okay? Then, because we're going to be so far apart, you're going to need walkie-talkie. Well,
Okay.
here, take the vacuum pump. And I'll get the straws. We got a whole supply of grape juice, and let's see how good you can do.
Okay. Mr. Wizard, 1, 2, 3, can you hear me?
I certainly can, AJ. Can you hear me all right?
You're fine.
Okay, so now we have a straw that's 14 meters long, and you're going to see how far you can suck up the grape juice, and I'll let you know how you're doing. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, give it a try. 1 meter, 1.5 meters, 2 meters, 2.5 meters, 2 3/4 meters, 3 1/2 meters. 4 meters. 4 1/8. Looks like that's about as high as you're gonna go, I think. No, there he goes. All right, guys, keep going. 4 1/3. 4 1/2. 4 1/2. I think obviously you've given up. Very good. 4 1/2 meters. How are you feeling?
Just a little bit tired.
Okay, now I told you how to connect up the vacuum pump, right?
Huh?
Okay, so we'll hook up the vacuum pump. We'll see how well it does. Okay, there it goes. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5, 8 3/4, 8 3/4 meters. Okay, turn it off.
Okay.
Down it comes.
Now remember when you were trying to suck up the grape juice through the single straw before?
Yep.
Okay, and you were creating a low pressure area in your mouth, and the outside air pressure was pushing the grapefruit juice up into your mouth, right?
Right.
Okay, well in this case, what you were doing is continuing to build that low pressure area, and you were able to get it up to 4 1/2 meters. Pretty good.
But now when you connected the vacuum pump, it was making a better vacuum above the column of liquid, so the outside air pressure could push it up. But it only got to 8.5 meters, right?
Right.
Even the best vacuum pump in the entire world wouldn't be able to get it to 10 meters or about 32 feet, because at that point, the weight of the column of grape juice equaled the weight of the column of air pushing down on the other side. Do you get the idea?
And you did pretty well, about half that, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, come on down.